No Man's Sky is an action-adventure survival game developed by Hello Games, set in an expansive, procedurally generated universe. The game allows players to explore a virtually infinite number of planets, each with its own unique terrain, fauna, flora, and resources. The game is known for its vast, ever-changing world where you can discover new worlds, mine resources, trade, and fight hostile creatures or other players. So No Man's Sky, we've been playing that for, about 2 weeks now, Steve? Give or take? Yeah. So let's just kind of like hop right into this. So the story, what did you think about the story so far for how much we've played it?
I actually think it's super cool the way they do it. The basis of this game is exploration. So you really, I think the main core of the game is you wake up, you were a previous explorer, and you're getting these clues, and whether it's the transmissions or you're finding clues throughout each different planet that you explore that takes you closer and closer to identifying who you are. I think the story is really whatever you want to make it. It's open to interpretation. It's like you're a traveler, you're a wanderer, the whole point of the game is to explore. It's to find different things. It's to interact with different entities, whether it's the minions, there's pirates, there's NPCs that are just wandering throughout the world. You have the sentinels that can destroy you if they see you mining something or taking something. And then at the same time, it's like you have the open world aspect where it's like there's multiple people that can be running around. One of the really cool things that it's like you place your building, and then after that, it's like no one else can place a building in that or a base in that area. Like I think the openness and the vagueness is super cool, and I think it adds a lot into the story. Obviously, there's the campaign that you have to kind of go through, and it just gives you like a little bit of a nudge. It tells you, hey, go do this, go do this. But for the most part, it's really just
the campaign seems living. More of like a help, kind of like a tutorial, because it really does kind of tell you how to do everything.
Yeah, it's just basically, hey, enjoy the ride. You need to you need to discover things. It's like life. It's you don't necessarily know your story before you start playing. You figure it out as you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree, man. The story's good. Well, what I liked about it is like there's like infinite numbers of ways to like go about doing it. You don't necessarily it's not one of those games that you like have to stick to the story. Like this game really is like all just about like exploration and stuff like that. And I've told you in the past, like this is like the kind of game that I love. I love the open world, like survival, the the looting, the crafting, all that stuff. Like I think the first day we played it, I think for like 4 or 5 hours straight, and like it didn't even realize that we'd been playing it for that long. And I played it for like an additional like 2 hours, like after you got off. It was such a fun game. Just as far as things that I didn't like about the story, there wasn't really a whole lot that I didn't like. Maybe if I had to say, if there was one thing I could say I did not like about the story, is just when you're interacting with like the NPCs, they don't really talk back to you. You like they're speaking like in their, I'm gonna call it their native tongue, right? And you're like throughout the. Come on, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that's actually part of the gameplay loop. It's you don't understand them, but as you go and you discover new things, you start learning words.
Well, no, that's not what I was meaning by that. What I meant, because I know what you're talking about, like the translations. But what I wish is like you would actually hear. Like I wish there was a voice actor for all the aliens to just speak the stuff. That's what I mean, because like I don't think they really make any noise, and it's just like a chat box, and you're scrolling through. I wish that there was more to like the NPCs and stuff like that. That's my only gripe about the story, because there's a ton of times where you have to like go around and like interact with them, and it's like, man, I would love to hear what this alien from this planet sounds like, or what this alien from that planet sounds like, but you're just given like a text of what they're saying, and depending on how far and how much translation you've learned throughout the game depends on if you're able to interpret it or not. Yeah, so is there anything like you didn't really like about the story, or?
No, I mean, I was completely fine with it. Obviously, I think one of the big issues that people tend to have, especially with a game story, is it feels like underwhelming. You don't really have any kind of structured narrative. So I can see how some people are upset about that, because it really is just like, hey, here's a game. It gives you like a little tips and tricks in the beginning, and then obviously as you go and discover more and you do more, it helps you out, like figuring out how to craft materials, how to fix your ship, like just stuff like that. But outside of that, it's like you go hours without seeing anything sometimes. Like you're just walking around wandering.
Just exploring,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Trying to find carbon and oxygen and shit.
Yeah, it feels more so like kind of like the Minecraft storyline in a sense, where it's like Minecraft as a base game is really just exploring and building and discovering. But you do have the storyline of destroying and beating the Ender Dragon. But it's like, unless you just explore and somehow end up in that situation, you're not really going to know about it unless you look it up.
Yeah, it's cool how you don't have to play the story to enjoy the game.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's talk a little bit about the world. I thought the world was fantastic. The graphics are really, really good. I think you were telling me that there's like 1.3 trillion possible planets to explore or something like that.
No, I think it's like 17 quintillion.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
it's literally it's infinite basically.
There's like no way to explore every single planet.
Yeah, one person could not explore every single planet, and then it's the world is so vast, and everything runs off real world time. So like if you're doing something, and it's gonna take 10 hours in the game, the game says it's gonna take 10 hours. It takes 10 hours in real life. So it's like that's insane. Like just looking at like I know like when you're traveling, like say you don't have any boost, and you have to travel from one planet to another, like that could potentially take 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, don't you remember that happened to me? I got stuck I was trying to shoot asteroids to fucking find the shit to give me more fuel, and I was literally stuck outside that planet. I think if I was to sit there and fly at a normal rate of speed, it said it was going to take me 2 days to get back.
Yeah, it's insane. But like, no, the world is huge. It's like every single. Granted, I've only interacted with like a couple planets, but like every single planet that I've gone to has a different biome, different type of animals that are around there, and it's just like it feels like you're gonna see something new wherever you go. Like I went to like a toxic planet that had these giant worms that would come out and jump out of the ground and fall under, and it's like if you steal their eggs, they come out and start attacking you and shooting you with poison, and you're just like, what the heck? Like this is insane. Like, and I've seen videos of like the water planets and like how you can build stuff down underwater. Like that's crazy to me. Like I'm the world is mind blowing for sure.
Yeah, there's just so much, and it's just like I think like with most of my time right now in the game has just been spent trying to explore as many of these planets like as I can. I have been following along like the campaign and stuff like that, but like there truly is like just so much to explore, and it's almost overwhelming because you just want to go, you want to see it all, but like there's like no way to.
Yeah,
right?
No, yeah. It's I've kind of been spending my time doing the missions. So you go into the space station and you can pick up some missions that give you some currency.
See,
so
I've yet to do a single mission. I have no idea how to do any of that shit.
Yeah. It's you kind of just I got to one space station and it kind of did like a little tutorial on or I guess like a tip section, and just had me go around to every single part of the space station and got to learn a lot about it.
Yeah, see, I think I've discovered 3 or 4, because I think it's in every solar system that you go into, there's one space station, and I think I've explored like 3 or 4 of them. I said I spent like 2 hours, dude, just gathering all the materials to make as much fuel and that hyper boost shit as I could, so that way I could just go around and exploring. So that kind of leads us into like the gameplay. The gameplay, dude, I mean, I thought what I loved about this that I think so many other games do wrong is that we were able to join each other's worlds, and like your base would automatically spawn in, you know? So like, for example, like, I'm just going to say like I'm just going to bring up Stardew Valley for this, right? Like you play your world, like I can play it when you're on, but when you get off, I'm stuck having to do my own thing. I can't be in your world. And this, you know, it's like everybody's world kind of that you play with combines in each other, which I thought was fucking awesome. Like I said, when you got off, I was like, man, we were talking, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to still be able to play in this world or if I'm going to have to create like a whole new one. And I was able to play the same one. So it like that I really, really enjoyed. I love, like I said, like the crafting. I thought it was really cool. It had like that Minecraft feel where you're putting all like these different elements in like that furnace thing. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head. And you're kind of seeing like what you can make. Like I just love the crafting and building. The only thing I didn't like about the building is, do you remember how with that generator you had to place like wires and shit like that around? That kind of felt clunky. It felt like the placing of items. I feel like they should snap better when you're placing them.
So I kind of figured it out. You really just have to connect it from one to the other. You don't necessarily have to do the crazy pattern I think you were doing in the beginning.
I was just trying to touch them. I think you just have to touch them, right? But you think there would be like ports or something like that to connect it to?
No, so it lights up. Like you'll see like a big green circle on where you need to connect it. So I kind of figured it out because I made a bunch of bases. Basically, every planet I would go to, I would create a base, and then obviously I would want a teleporter. Yeah, just in case, because it's like there's some planets that have different types of material or different types of animals, and it's like based on what you're trying to make. Obviously, you want certain types of materials. So it's like I would try to put a teleporter every single spot, and initially trying to figure out that whole wiring system, but once you figure it out, it's pretty simple.
Well, I think when I made the teleporter on one of those bases, I think I used like 15 different wire spots to that teleporter before I finally got it to turn on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you like how you can actually like rename the planets to whatever you want? So like I named one. I can't remember the name of the material. It's like that purple crystal one. So I named the planet like Purple Crystal Thing. And that way I knew I could go there and farm them. And because that's what you use to turn into the currency to buy shit at the space stations. But I thought it was cool to be able to rename them. So that way you kind of knew. Cause like it's easy, I think, like if you, with the amount of planets and shit like that, like with the amount of teleporters that you can set up, I think it'd be very easy to get lost in knowing what is what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like to be able to like
100%.
rename the stuff. The other thing I didn't like about the gameplay was it seemed like every time I spawned back in or like when I left the space station, my spaceship thing like spawned inside our base. So I'd have to hop in it and fly it off of our base to be able to use some of the things. Did you ever notice that in there or no?
Sometimes.
Like
usually I would
through?
always try to... Yeah, usually I would always try to despawn or log off in the space station. But I did kind of notice that when we teleported back to the base, like our spaceships would be like inside of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, that kept doing it to me over and over and over again because that's all I did. I'd go to the space. I'd use the teleporter to the space station, or I'd fly. In another solar system, I'd fly to a space station and then use their teleporter to come back to our main base, and then I'd get to the main base and the fucking thing is in our spaceship is like inside of our base, and I have to hop in it, fly it around. I also, what did you think? Because I was complaining a little bit about this, about the controls of the spaceship, because I had a hard time really maneuvering it around. You liked it?
I didn't mind it. Yeah, it's easy once you kind of get used to it using your mouse. I think the big thing is switching your camera to be third person instead of first person when you're in the spaceship.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was flying first person like the whole time, and I was getting like so lost of like where I was heading and shit like that. And I'm like trying to move. I'm hitting everything, dude. I'm hitting asteroids, trying to maneuver through them and shit. Like,
no, that helped out a lot for sure. But other than that, it's like it felt pretty good. It's like if I wanted to go up, just flicking your mouse up really quick, and it would just go up. You do kind of get used to it. I think the big thing that I really I guess not really dislike, but I feel like could have been better was the combat. But obviously it's not a game about combat, so I don't really put too much against it. But the shooting doesn't feel that great. when you're fighting things, sometimes they'll just stand there and just like look at you, and then just you're shooting them and they just die. The animals, when you attack them, they just run away from you. It's like I would prefer it if they attacked you when you're shooting them with the laser. Like obviously, if you go to like the wild here and you start shooting a laser at like I'm trying to think, like a buffalo or something, they're gonna come at you and attack you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily like either how you use the same laser for like multiple things. So you're using it to like, mine the ore or get the oxygen and shit like that, but you're also using it to kill the dinosaurs or whatever they are and like get the the meat and all the other shit from it. I wish there was like more to your weapon. I know you can like upgrade it and all this other stuff, but it just felt kind of.
Well, you can get guns and other attachments for it.
Maybe we're just not that far. We're not far enough in the game to get that. But in the beginning though, it's like I feel like I feel like in the beginning there should be a quest or within the campaign to build a weapon, because like I said, you're constantly using the same laser.
So I got a pistol pretty early in the game. I thought you had gotten the same thing too, because
I don't have shit. I got just fucking laser, dude. That's it. And I'm like, I've been following the campaign for almost the whole time now that I've been playing.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I got a pistol like super early in the game, like probably like like the first night that we played it early.
What did I do fucking wrong?
That's crazy to me that you didn't get one. And like there's pistols that you or not pistols, but like other guns that you can buy from the space stations that are they're not super expensive, but yeah, I mean, I got a pistol pretty early.
Maybe I spent too much time trying to explore all the planets and not enough like really looking through the space stations and seeing what was available to be purchased.
Well, not just purchase through the space station, but like if you go to all the different boxes that are scattered around, like you'll see them while you're on the planet when you do your little
the little caches and shit like that.
Yeah.
See, I was doing a lot of the ancient knowledges, trying to learn all the languages, because like so many of those campaign quests were like learn 30 words or something like that.
Yeah, but just picking up everything that you see, like the first couple times that I was going around, it's like I would look for them, pick them up, get on my ship, fly somewhere else, look around, because like stuff changes when you're flying through different areas of the planet, and then eventually just teleport back to where I was at once I get far enough. But no, yeah, it's I got a gun super early.
What the fuck? Well, okay, so did you like the survival aspect of it? Like, how you're talking about you can go to a certain planet and like there's the radiation and you have to like build certain resistances, or like you're having to make sure you go out and that you have enough oxygen on you and enough carbon and all this other stuff to make sure you live. I enjoyed that part, because again, it's kind of reminds me of like DayZ, like you have to eat and stuff like that, because it makes you like think about how far you're going out from your base and shit like that.
I liked it. I liked that aspect of it, but I just wish it was different based on where you were going. I wish like
needing different things, or.
Yeah, if they really wanted to get into the whole survival aspect of it, it's like if you're going from a toxic planet to a planet that's just that has no oxygen, like you probably shouldn't be using oxygen for all these things. Like obviously, yeah, I'm guessing oxygen because it's breathing and all this other stuff, but maybe there's like little attachments that you have to add to your suit to be able to
be able to go out there.
Yeah, I think that would be cool if they incorporated something like that. But like, obviously, like maybe it is just like a regular like breathing apparatus, and that's the whole thing. But there's areas where it's like super cold and super hot, and it's still the same thing. It's like
just pop oxygen and you're fine.
Yeah. Like I went to a snow area where like an ice planet, and same thing. It's like extremely cold, but the oxygen is still what allows you to be in that planet.
Yeah, you would think that they would make something in there that you had to build like for like heat or something like that to prevent you from freezing to death or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about the character itself. I liked the character. My biggest gripe, I think, with our character was just like the customization. It kind of felt like when we went to the space station, we had like 15 different options of how we wanted our person to look. It didn't really feel like there was enough customization for your character.
Yeah, and I wonder if that gets incorporated later on, because I know there's a lot of stuff that that you can do to customize different things that we just haven't gotten exposed to. Like, you can't necessarily customize your ship, but you can build all new ships.
So you can do different ships. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to build it from scratch. You can't customize the original one that you have. You just have to do everything from scratch. But I don't know. I'm curious to see it. I know the company that did No Man's Sky is working on another game that's like almost like a fantasy world style of No Man's Sky. So I'm super excited for when that comes out.
Is it gonna be kind of like the same thing as this, but like a fantasy?
Yeah. It's like you're like I honestly I can't remember the name of the.
So it's Hello Games is who made this.
No fire, light, no fire.
Oh, I see that.
Open world planet and basically the world, the map is supposed to be the same size as like Earth, in terms of like.
Damn.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and it's such a again like, I think we're seeing a repetition here where it's like these smaller companies are coming out, like indie companies are carrying the gaming industry at this point. So it's really cool to see.
Oh, dude, 100%. So do you want to give, I guess, like our final thoughts on this game, or?
Yeah. No, yeah. I think I'm definitely leaning on the 8 out of 10 for me. I think it was a very rough start for the game. Like I remember first hearing about when this game first came out in 2016, and like I worked at Best Buy at the time, and everyone was so hyped for it because it was supposed to be this open world, like unlimited things to do, and it's like you could do everything. And then just hearing of people like not being able to do anything, it's like there was nothing to do. The planets all looked the same. There was nothing to do. So it's really cool to see how much effort they put into this game, into giving people the game that they deserve. They made a bunch of money when they sold the game, and they could have just stopped there and said, sorry, this is what you're getting. Maybe we'll give you a couple updates here and there. But they have worked diligently. They've worked incredibly hard to give us this, what I think is close to a masterpiece. I think if there was like a couple different things, obviously, like, there's so much, and it's impossible to make a perfect game when you're just providing so much, like 18 quintillion or however many different planets. Like, you're never going to get like a unique planet experience every single time. I just think they're providing too much. If they had limited a little bit more, we probably could have gotten a more polished, more unique experiences. But obviously, maybe space is like that in real life. Like, we would never know. But maybe there is a situation where planets kind of just really just mimic each other as you go from universe to universe.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I agree a lot with what you said. Me personally, I'd probably rate it like a 7, because I do feel like there needs to be more. Like, I think I told you this. Like, I wish there was more elements to be discovered. I feel like, you go, a lot of the planets almost feel like copy paste because there are so many of them. But like, other than that, like, yeah, like, I love the game. I could sit there and I feel like I could spend like 24 hours playing, like, straight playing the game, and still feel like I've barely scratched the surface of it. And like, there's just so much to do. Like, whether you're exploring or crafting, or, the missions are that there's just the amount of gameplay that you are given is honestly insane. So yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 7. So are you comfortable giving it like a 7.5 as like our rating for it?
Yeah. No, yeah.
So I guess, so we'll kind of end it on whether or not we recommend it. I recommend it if you are into the exploration, survival, cracked out. I'm gonna call it cracked out space Minecraft. I love it. I'll continue to play it, for a long time. How about you? Would you recommend this game to somebody?
Yeah, no, this game it's incredible. It's a lot of fun. I definitely, like you said, if you're into these types of games where there's no real direction, you're kind of it's up to whatever you want to do. That's what you get to do. Very similar to Minecraft. If you enjoy Minecraft, you're going to enjoy this game. Like, my little brother loves Minecraft, so I bought him No Man's Sky, and he's addicted. Like, he loves it. It's so much fun to him.
So anything else you want to hit on with No Man's Sky?
No. I think we covered it all.
All right, well, that's it for today's deep dive episode of The BS Show. If you enjoyed the unfiltered conversations, make sure to follow us on all socials at The BS Show GG. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back next week with more straight talk, no BS.